Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Darrell, Wolfe, and today's show is EMF 5G crystal therapy with Peter Webb. Now, Peter Webb has had a long connection with all things nature and is well versed in radionics and is here today to teach you more about this scientific field. Now, let me make this perfectly clear, everybody. A lot of people have trouble with radionics when they first hear about it. Oh my gosh, it's invisible. It's frequencies. It's got something to do with something, but I don't know. I don't know if I like this. The reality is that we are energy frequency beings. And this is scientific. So we're not making this up. This is not some new age thing. This is not new age health. This is science. This is factual. If you do your research, which is really what I like people to do, if they would do their own research, then they can come back and challenge us tomorrow. That's right. We're going to be doing a live Q&A, and you can challenge us from any angle, any direction that you want. Just because something's new doesn't make it a lie. Just because something's been told for centuries doesn't make it the truth. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't make it healthy. Just because nobody knows about it doesn't make it unhealthy. So the reality is, the sooner that we open up our minds and our hearts to new things, because we can only grow consciously, which again is a frequency. Because when you change your beliefs and you understand that your ability to grow is unlimited, and that we are frequency beings, whether you want to believe it or not, 99.9999999999999 of us is actually invisible energy. It's called the field. Some people like to call it an aura. Some people like to call it an energy grid. But the reality is no matter what you call it, from where you are or where you studied, it's real. Just as the sun, remember something, you are getting light energy frequency from the sun. Just as we will have 5G hitting us on every inch of this planet. We have blue light from our computers, from our phones, from our TVs, from the light bulbs, from our iPads, from our gaming things. So between blue light and 5G, that's a lot of negative frequency. And you know what? The creators, of all this new technology, could have made frequencies that actually heal our body, but they chose not to. So then I ask, are they actually a friend of ours? Or are they playing off of our sicknesses? Oh, let me tell you, you haven't seen anything yet. Between blue light and the 5G that's coming, wait till you see the increase in neurological disorders. Okay, I know, I'm just Dr. Wolfe, nobody special. But the reality is this. I'll make you a promise that neurological disorders are going to outrank heart disease and even cancer within 2 to 3 years because of 5G and blue light. Now, don't worry. Heart disease and cancer are going to go up like a rocket as well. But neurological diseases like MS and Parkinson's and Lou Gehrig's disease, okay, and things like shingles are going to come on so fast, you have no idea. So just as negative frequencies are used to bring our health and pull us apart, we're going to talk about radionics. It's really funny how people think that, yeah, they know and they believe that there's negative frequencies that are hurting us, and that's only because of repetition. They've heard it enough. A few years ago, nobody believed that your phone could give you brain cancer. Nobody believed that your smart fridge or your smart washer dryer was actually could give you cancer. Nobody believed that the invisible is now the enemy. But now we're all starting to wake up because we have herd mentality. We've heard it enough and people have talked about it enough. Well, now you're going to hear about radionics, which maybe you haven't heard about a lot, but understand something. Radionics is about using light, frequency, energy. And we're going to be talking about how you can actually imprint these frequencies into crystals. And everybody, you know about crystal energy. Some people don't want to know about it because they come from a belief system that just even talking about that is some kind of voodoo. The reality is that we know that people have been using crystal energy since the beginning of time. And you don't know this, but guess what? There's a little crystal in your watch that makes it run. That we use crystals in things to generate energy, electricity, and frequency. And we've been doing it for hundreds of years. So now let's come up to speed. Let's get into the 21st century and let's start using frequencies, because we are, okay, light energy beings having a physical experience. So as soon as you start learning how to feed and heal your energy grid, which is the invisible part of you, you will heal the physical part of you. All right. So let's begin the show. I want to bring on Peter right now. Peter, how you doing, my friend?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Oh, he's ripping and raring.
I want to bring in, you're talking, Albert Einstein said everything is frequency, and that's all there is. Now, you have been sitting with a radio, with a tuner, and you can tune hundreds of radio stations coming in from all over. The same with your TV. Now with satellite TV, you get thousands of different programs. All these man-made frequencies are in the atmosphere. They're everywhere. So we've been immersed in these frequencies. Now with radionics, it's been around since the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it was developed in Europe, but has been heavily used in United States and Canada since probably, well, before the end of the Second World War. So it'd be in the 1940s and 50s is probably when they were building these machines. And again, all it is two tuning devices on it that tune to a frequency. And so you can scan, put an object in it and scan and get a pure frequency. And this is what we do. We'll take supplements that, you know, if we put them in the machine, they'd have a life of maybe a year. But by tuning into the pure frequency, it'll last a lifetime. So we don't have to keep changing supplements, because every vitamin and mineral, enzyme, probiotic, they all have frequencies and resonances. So I'll give you an example. This is one that we did about 2 weeks ago. We got this beautiful iodine that we put in our machine.
Peter, can you hold for 1 second? Everybody, just so you know, Peter's talking about our infinite iodine that we sell at the Dock of Detox. And if I can say something, Peter, you have regular iodine like the liquid iodine that people take?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So that iodine is colloidal. And then what you do is you have what's called nano, which is thousands of times smaller. And then you've got thousands of times smaller particle, which is called pico. And then tens of thousands of times smaller is our iodine. And that's why our iodine is more like a gas iodine, even though it comes in a liquid, and it can go anywhere in the body. It's the highest vibrational iodine in the world, and everybody needs this. And guess what Peter did? Peter, will you tell them?
Well, we put it into the pendants and the protectors, but I had an operator of a marijuana grow-up phone. He said, you know, we're almost ready to harvest, but we've got downy mildew in, and we're worried about losing the crop. So I said, send me a picture and I'll do something with it. So he sent me a picture off his cell phone. Of course, we use copper plates to energize everything we do. And there's a different one for the Revitalizer and a different one for the pendants. So I put it on where the pendants were. And that was at noon. And the next morning, the guy, he phoned up in absolutely amazement. He said, well, what did you do? I said, I put it on the machine and I sent the frequencies you put in the pendants. Well, he said, I walked into my grow up and he said the smell was overwhelming. And he said that iodine triggered those plants to produce pheromones. they went into a rapid reproduction system right in it. But the see, pheromone, everything is produces a pheromone. Like even these killer wasps, they produce pheromones. Everything, and when they have pheromones. So anyway, with the iodine, it tricked these plants and they produced these pheromones. But then the CBD oil was dripping off the seeds. It was that impressive. He had never seen nothing like it. So this is just one incidence where you take a frequency and you put it into an environment. It's an instant reaction. So this is why we do a lot of testing before we do anything. When we get a new frequency, we run it against plants, and we find out if the vitality goes up, we keep it. If it goes down, it comes out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Peter, if I can, I just want to make sure that I know we've got a lot of new people watching right now, okay, because I can see it. So I just want to have everybody understand what everything is. So if you can take a look at this, everyone, this is a purple, this is called a purple Bodyguard, okay? And that's the pennants that he was talking about. Now, take a look at this. These are all the colors it comes in, and you'll see these on our website at EMF/light, okay? And the only reason why I'm telling everybody is because they're going to start asking questions about this, as I can see right now. So everybody, these are called pennants, and these are the different colors they come in, and they're called Bodyguards, and this is called a protector, okay? And the protector comes in a green, and the protector also comes in a purple, and this will do like an apartment or a house. Now, Peter, if you would please show, okay, if you would please show the Guardian and
the Defender.
And the Defender. Now, everyone, the Guardian will actually do up to 50 to 70 acres. And the reason why we came out with these is because people have smaller farms. Like the actual Revitalizer will do 5,000 acres. Okay, but we got people calling and going, well, I only have smaller garden, but I want it to be beautiful. So we wanted to create something that anybody could afford for their garden. And also we got calls that people say, well, what about our school? What about our church? What about our office? Even we got calls, what about this slaughterhouse? The house one's not big enough. So Peter actually came up with something that will go from 50 to 70 acres, whether it's a garden, it's called the Guardian. And if it's a building, okay, it's called a Defender. So, Peter, do you want to show those one more time? So when we're talking about these, everybody, I just want people to understand what it is.
Okay.
So you see the size that Peter has? Peter, what is that? It's about 4 times bigger, right?
4 times as big, yeah. It weighs about 2 pounds.
Weighs about 2 pounds, everyone. So you'll see those up on our website at EMF/light. And then, Peter, can you tell the difference? Now, there's another one called a Revitalizer. That's a black box, everyone, about this big.
I don't have one here.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's a black box about this big. You'll see it on EMF/light on our store. But it's about this big, and it will do 5,000 acres. Right, Peter?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And it harvests all the greenhouse gases and put them back in the soil as nutrients to the soil. So you can actually sequester 20 to 30 tons of carbon per acre. And carbon is the builder of plants, bones, and people. It's one of the key elements that we have. Now, going back to the start where we're talking about Revitalizer, it also puts oxygen into the ground 5,000 feet down. We had one in India, 2 in India on a lake, Hassan Sagar, 4,000 acres, 55 million liters of raw sewage a day going in, plus industrial waste. We kept that lake pristine, clean. People were canoeing and boating and sailing on it. The following year, the municipality went with a bacterial type product to clean it, and it was failed. So they called us back again this year. And although the Revitalizer was producing the oxygen that we needed, nothing happened. And it took a while to realize that 5G kills all of the microorganisms, whether it's in water, air, or soil, or our bodies. And this is where I wanted to tie it in, because the microorganisms is what keep an environment pristine clean. They consume all of the contaminants and break it down. Our body is, we couldn't function without these bacteria in our body. So what we realize now that there's going to be much more of a problem with our environment with all of the 5G that people are wanting for their faster cell phones and fridges and everything else. I don't think they're realizing the effects now, but later on, as more and more, when they get 55,000 satellites beaming 5G down at us, there won't be a place to hide. And that's why you see all these military with sat phones. They can use a sat phone anywhere on the planet. That's because they're supported by the 5G. Now, we've seen with the coronavirus, it also depletes the oxygen in the blood. And so we're now getting municipalities wanting to get this technology for their sewage lagoons, because the 5G has taken out the bacteria that does all of the breaking down of the waste. So that's what I wanted to say, is that the reason I'm saying that is because I'm bringing your attention that we are mostly bacteria. Actually, every plant has a massive amount of bacteria on the leaves and in the root zone and in the soil that support that plant. Last year, I didn't realize we were sitting in a 5G zone until we got dealing with local farmers and their livestock. But we never had hardly anything on our garden at all. There wasn't an earthworm or the crops, all of it failed. Peppers and tomatoes, everything, just carrots, everything didn't survive. So after we got the protection against the 5G and the other EMFs, because there are so many of them now, almost instantly we had an influx of earthworms, the soil come back to life. And of course, we have all the critters coming in, skunks and groundhogs and even wild turkeys come and pound on. They see the shadow in the window and they pound on the windows and scare us to death. But so it's an energy that nature can feel, and they come in. And this is why I was on a show last night, and the lady said she's never had so many animals in her backyard. Now, one of the beauties of what we do.
So, Peter, if I can say something, so it all starts with the bugs, good viruses, good bacteria, good funguses, because there's good and bad of everything in life,
That's
and
right.
so whatever there's bad, there's good. So we have to look at that. And if I can backtrack just a little bit, everyone, the 5G actually dehydrates your skin. Wait till you see how people are going to wrinkle up. They're going to wrinkle up because it actually heats up your skin on the outside, and you may not feel it. Some people will. They will have a really bad reaction to the 5G when it starts coming, and they'll feel it on their skin. They'll feel like more fibromyalgia, more skin pain, more muscle pain, but it dehydrates you. And this is why we're telling everyone that they better learn how to structure their water. If they don't get structured water, and they're going to be doing things like reverse osmosis, distilled water, or just filtered or bottled water, you're going to be in big trouble. So we gotta mind the bugs, and we got to create the right environment for these bugs. And you're going to know when 5G is bothering you, because you're going to see problems with your skin. It's going to be drier. It's going to start getting more wrinkled. It's going to thin out. You're going to see skin disorders. Go ahead, Peter. I'll let you come back to where you were. Okay?
Well, okay. That brings me into another thing I've been delving into, is the blue light from TV, computers and this is causing a thing called shallow sleep syndrome. And and again, it comes back to enzymes. Like your body normally produces melatonin to help you sleep. So your body, the enzymes actually mine the melatonin so you don't sleep.
So, Peter, what are the things that you are doing to help people have a better sleep to combat not just 5G, but blue light? Because blue light will throw the circadian rhythm off. And if you throw the circadian rhythm off, you can find yourself laying there in bed. And you know what? You end up worrying when actually the worrying was not the problem. It was that you've thrown off your clock, your internal clock. And how have you helped people with that, with using the protector and also the Bodyguard and also the Defender?
yes, this is something that we have definitely been working on for a long period of time. And as we keep learning more and more about things that interfere with our body's natural functions, we realize then that to maintain a healthy body, we need healthy microorganisms, we need healthy enzymes, and of course, with all this electricity, it's lowering the oxygen in our home. So oxygen is one thing we've focused on, is to get higher oxygen, higher hydrogen, because they have to go together. And then, of course, we've got the enzymes, amino acids, and minerals. And now we are even putting in colors. We went through the whole Dinshaw color chart to get all of the colors, and then we had to have hues that also play a part in the healthy colors and energies around our body. So, this is in there now, and people get it. We have all kinds of people saying how great they feel. And actually, we had a doctor that was on their last show. We did one locally, and he said he's never met anybody that dependent and the protector or the
Bodyguard?
Bodyguard and the other
Defender?
thing, Defender and Guardian. No, anyway, they've never met anybody that it didn't mesh right in with their energy. So this is a lot of long time work that if anybody buy it, they're going to have immediate relief, or they will feel more. The most obvious thing is you become more calmer and relaxed, and you're not hyped up all the time. And
you'll notice you'll notice it with high blood pressure. You'll notice it with your heartbeat. And the one thing that people love about this that they didn't even know they were going to expect is your skin. What about your skin? How it helps your skin, Peter?
Well, yes, your skin. The skin is a major organ in the body. It does a lot of breathing, actually. So it gets contaminated. So by putting these frequencies of oxygen and hydrogen into the skin becomes more alive. You get more blood closer to the skin, so you're getting a greater healing effect.
Yeah, you look more radiant, and you'll actually start seeing your skin conditions start to reverse.
That is right, yeah. Probably one of the times I've been here, I've had brown spots on my forehead. They're all gone now. So, yeah, the skin does regenerate and become more youthful. When we're in an environment, if we're in a lot of smoke or fog or environments, our skin is absorbing this stuff wherever we go. So this is part of the technology, is that we can remove these contaminants out of the skin, make your skin more vibrant and become alive. So, it's that's where we are with that part.
Beautiful. Can you explain, though, can you explain the chemical qualities of the Bodyguard, the Protector, the Guardian, and the Defender? just kind of give people a little bit of background?
Well, yeah, one of the things that we have done when we first started is be able to find an energy that actually does a clockwise rotation, and then it pauses and go into it. This is every cell in your body does this, clockwise, counterclockwise. And the reason behind this is every mineral has a color attached to it. Every vitamin has a color, and they have a polarity. One is positive and one is negative. And that's why you have to have this particular spinning in the cells to take nutrients into the cell and waste away from the cell. And with live blood analysis, dark field blood analysis, you can see all your cells is separate. So if EMFs, what they do is they cluster the cells, they become clumped together, they cause artery problems and heart, they block arteries. So what we've done, especially by getting the higher oxygen into those cells, your immune system is functioning at a much higher level. And so, yeah, every vitamin, again, everything has to be in. If you put selenium in, for it to work, you need vitamin E. And then if you put iron in, you need another mineral and other vitamins. So there is a synergy within our bodies that we balance out. It's a question of, you can call it plus or positive or negative or male or female, but everything is brought into this synchronicity to work as a unit where your whole body, your digestive system functions at a higher level, and of course you're taking out a lot of the pollution out of your body, so you feel lighter and you have more energy. It's something we've been working on, and it's working very well. It's highly successful, and of course, as we go along, we keep looking at other aspects of things that can interfere with our health. But right now, we've got most of everything covered. And
well, just if I can say this, just like Einstein stated, right?
Yeah.
Energy medicine is the future, and the future is here. And the reality, everyone, whether you know this or not, everything you eat and drink and every supplement you ever take, it totally leaves the body except for the frequency that was in that physical. The only thing that stays behind is the invisible. So if you could get that, I know it's hard to wrap our heads around that the invisible creates the physical, but it does. Everything we drink and everything we eat leaves the body. Only the frequency stays behind. So what you've tried to do, right, Peter, is try to give everything, and because you're trying at each time you're making these, you're taking a look, what are people lacking? What do they have too much of that we need to bring down? What don't they have enough of that we need to bring up? And then as the environment changes for people, you change what's in the crystals, or you put new frequencies in the crystals. And understand something. I didn't know this, but I found this out the last time Peter was on, that he changes what's in your Bodyguard, or what's in your Defender, or what's in your Guardian, or what's in your Protector. All of these, even in the Vitalizer, he's capable of changing the frequencies even though you're around the other side of the world. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. And this is what we do on a weekly basis. We will have elements in that machine that we're copying with the Radionics that they won't be needed again. We've bought them into a pure frequency form, so we discard them. And but you got to realize that in nature, nitrogen produces protein. In the body, you have bacteria that breaks that protein down into amino acids, and then you have enzymes that are changing those amino acids into light, and that's where your light body starts getting So it's really important that we cover prebiotics, probiotics, enzymes, and to support the bacterial life in our soil, because actually bacteria control your emotions, and this is something that few people understand, that you can have bad bacteria in your body and they will make you miserable. So these are usually in the form of anaerobics, which are fermenters, where we need the aerobics, which are putting oxygen in and healing and generating. So the whole idea is to get our body into a balance. You have to balance everything out. You can't have too much positive and you can't have too much negative. It's like if you kill, we'll say, a particular bug, wipe it out, the next bug will become the predator. So we have to maintain this equilibrium and balance within everything that we do. And this is a daily thing. I spend time every morning checking everything out to make sure everything is in harmony to get the best results that we can possibly get for your health and your skin and your emotions. I mean, even the hydrogen part of water it's called a spiritual energy. It's a spirituality, and we need spirituality within our body as well as in our lives. So I'm hoping I'm making this. But anyway, what we've come up with is, as we move along, we've always been protecting the body, but now we're moving into a new era where we're actually creating energies that fight back, that will help your body to fight back to this optimum health. And that's already, we've got that in. And yes, every time we come up with an innovation, it's sent out to every bodyguard, protector, guardian. It's everybody's being updated the whole way along, because believe me, our environment is changing at a rapid pace. We've never seen an environment change as fast as we have in the last 20 years, I would think, with all the telecommunication and EMFs. And the other thing, we use trees as a grounding, and it's critical that we ground the electrical current in your body, and that everything in nature has a DC current, a man-made alternating current. It can gather in your body, and to ground that out, you're taking that out, so your natural DC in your body will start doing the work that it should do to normalize the functions in your body. And this has all been done for years and years and years through radionics, but we've been able to draw it all together, and even to the point where we now have silica crystals where we can store a large number of frequencies. When your body is looking for something, it can basically call out and they will be delivered to your body. And this is something that I've developed also that's new. So I hope that gives you a better idea of where we are going, and really potentially this thing has endless possibilities for the people of the world. I mean, we're here to educate and try to get people to think outside the box and become more conscious of what's happening around them. And this is one of the things that we're proud of, being able to be part of that.
Absolutely,
Okay?
absolutely, Peter. And so we have to understand something, everyone, and that's this, that just like us as light energy beings, our potential is unlimited. Now, you have to take a look at this product, and it doesn't have limitations, does it? So if you can wrap your head around that this does not have limitations, so if somebody comes up with a new virus or a new bacteria, what do you think Peter's going to do? He's going to reprogram your protector. He's going to reprogram the defender or the guardian or the Bodyguard, because we have 4 different ones, and also even the Revitalizer that's good enough for 5,000 acres. So the reality is this, okay, light, we travel at the speed of light. That's what frequencies do. So if you can get that, how do you call someone on a cell phone and you can talk to them in China? And it's instantaneous, isn't it? But guess what? Do you see how hard it is to wrap your head around it? That Peter can't send a frequency into your bodyguard or your protector or your guardian. You won't be able to wrap your head around this. And you're not going. Most people are going to be able to wrap their head around this until the herd wraps their head around this, because we do not accept things until it's repeat, 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 because that's the way we learn on this planet. Whether it's good or bad, we learn everything through repetition. And for the majority of the population, they won't be able to embrace this information until there's a majority of the population that have swallowed the red pill. What do you think, Peter?
That's right. Yeah, it's, you know, in agriculture, there is always this innovators. It's like a pyramid. You have to educate the people at the top, and once they get the picture, then it moves down until you finally educate the whole herd. And it takes time, but fortunately now we have a lot of people that have open minds and are becoming aware of these possibilities. People can stand, like I came out this morning and looked at the sky, and they were chemtrailing, spraying out all kinds of chemicals and into the environment, and they eventually come down, and sometimes you'll have rain and the water is yellow. So where is this stuff coming from? So everything. This is the main thing I'm fearing of, is the quality of the food being produced today has no nutritional value. It's being supported by chemicals and pesticides, fungicides, and
Herbicides.
And you know, the natural life in the soil has been knocked down. Man, he wants to control nature, and this is where we are now. But before all this, the food had a real satisfying food value. It lasted for weeks. It didn't go bad in 2 or 3 days. We've got people that, well, we had to do it too. They put the protector in the refrigerator. And the next thing you have to do is turn the cold down to minimum, because everything gets colder when you get oxygen into your refrigerator. The refrigerator, then you start getting stuff in the refrigerator part freezing. So, but yeah, it's, again, the reason they do that is because these frequencies help to extend the life of the food in the fridge.
Peter,
But the same problem is there is no nutritional value in a lot of the stuff we eat.
Peter, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me, when you're finished, can you just tell me a few other different stories of people and using the different products and what they've seen, what you've heard?
Well, you know, with the Revitalizer, the crop yields increase by 40%. I mean, that's given right across the board. The weight of a bushel of corn under conventional agriculture weighs 55 to 60 pounds, in that range. With the Revitalizer, that corn is being up to 79 pounds a bushel. The only difference is it's nutritionally rich. It's higher in minerals and vitamins that increase the weight. And this is one of the things that nature has showed is that 4G was in the atmosphere, and the corn would die from the top down. In nature, it's supposed to die from the bottom up, and keeps moving all the nutrients up into the grain. And it's reminiscent of most crops now, is that their metabolism is not being fully engaged the way it's supposed to be, where when we put in plasma, which is a DC positive and negative. And plasma, I got asked that the other day. It's ozone. It's when you look at the northern lights, that plasma. But once you get it into the crop, your bugs don't come around because for some unknown reason the plants build up an immune system to protect themselves. Or they see what happens in nature. The weak and sick, the deer or the wolf will kill the deer or the weak animals. The bugs come in and eat all the weak plants. So consequently, today we spray the plants to kill the bugs and everything. The whole natural rhythm of the soil is gone.
It's kind of, if I can say something, Peter, it's kind of like the same thing that's going on right now with the coronavirus is that, you know, people are like losing their minds, but the actual death rate hasn't gone up that much. It's just that nobody ever paid attention to how many people were dying around the world. And the people that are dying are the people that are sick and unwell and weak. And so those are the people that are actually, like you just said, in nature, right? Survival.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've always thought that coronavirus was only getting the weak, and that seems to be people with diabetes or heart problems or
Cancer.
overweight.
Overweight.
Yeah. So it's just nature taking out the sick and weak, and this is what happens in agriculture the world over, and we can change that now, but again, it's going to take a lot of educating. As far as the protector go and the pendant, there are people that are saying thank you very much for this wonderful gift. It's helping us greatly. We're seeing so much. Our pets are happier. Our plants in the house are better. It's amazing. And then people say, well, we've got more birds and more animals in our yard. And this is definitely true because these birds and animals, they migrate to a healthy environment. They don't want to be in a sick environment either. So nature is telling us that what we're doing is actually really beneficial for the environment around us. So what we're trying to do now is to get this guardian into more people's hands, that they want to be able to grow vegetables and gardens, and because right now there's more people actually taking up gardening than I've ever seen. I mean, people are going into stores and buying up all the seed. You can't find seed potatoes or nothing. People ask me, how do I plant potatoes? If you were in the country, you'd have a pretty good idea how to stick a potato in the ground and cover it up as it grows. So, yeah, even people are buying little greenhouses because they realize that they've got to start doing something more for themselves. We're talking about people in rural areas. We're not talking about people in the city, but even the people in the city seem to be, if they got a backyard, they're trying to grow stuff that they can eat. And this is all very good, and it's part of where we should be. Then they understand how food is produced. Ask a kid today, where is the food produced? Walmart, Costco, wherever. They don't never tie it back to the farmer in the field. And that's sad, really, because if they lived through the end of the Second World War, we didn't have anything in England as far as flour or bread or sugar. None of that stuff was available. And the farming in Europe was revered. The farmer was the highest person within a community, but now he's at the bottom of the rail. He's not even thought about. So we're trying to help everybody, and it's working, and it's not complicated once you understand nature and our human body and everything else. They function.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've got to tell you, it's so amazing, especially right now, to hear about all of these great testimonials. I mean, you know, on the Bodyguard and on the Protector for the home. But now that we've got the Guardians out there in people's gardens, up to 5,000, up to 5,000.
No, 50 acres.
50 acres, I meant. Thank you. Up to 50 acres, and with the Defender up to 50 acres for the size of the building, and we're getting all these testimonials back now. I mean, people are starting to get it. You know, most people will buy it because they're hoping it works, and then they see and they start seeing the changes in the things within the environment and within themselves. And then it's proof pudding. You know what I mean? And then they still don't understand it. They go, well, Dr. Wolfe, I still don't understand it. But the reality is, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you. So do sounds and sonics play a big role in radionics? Because I think, you know, I want people to understand that. And are they similar? Are they a similar form of frequency?
They are similar. Now, this device, this Guardian, it used to do 25 acres. So I searched through my library of sounds of gongs and chimes and bells, and I was able to get a sound frequency to boost this thing up to 50 acres. It doubled the acreage it would cover. So sound has and of course, sound, you know, you listen to beautiful music. It has, your body absorbs them sounds, and it has a calming effect. It was hard rock, and people will get, this is a gospel truth. The farmer in the barn milking the cows used to play country music. Then the son come along and he started playing hard rock, and the milk production dropped. The sound frequency, those cows didn't like it, the milk production dropped just because he played a different music. So yeah, sounds they play a very important part of everything, and they create the vibrations in the cells of body, and help to keep us, well, you know, the frequency, the waves in there are actually helping to move stuff around and heal. I've used biophotons. There's biophotons in here. We've just bought another lamp that is supposed to have some real healing properties to it. So we've been able to, it's an infrared LED light, and it's built for health. So we've been able to install those frequencies of that light into the pendants as well. So as we move along, we keep learning of different elements that will enhance what we're doing. And you know, it's strange when you have a quiet moment and you're thinking about something somebody said, and then, oh, wait a minute, I think I have an answer for that. So this is how we come up with these different rates and frequencies for the system that we have today. And I hope that explains it the best.
It does. And you know, the beauty about all this is that you can actually get an upgrade and you never have to take it off. So that's, you never have to send it back. And it's not like, well, you got to buy this year's new model, right? So
that's right.
I want to just touch on, if we could, can you explain colors to people, and just a little bit more, because I know we have got a lot of new people on here, boy. We've got a lot of people on here today. So we've got a lot of new people listening to this. So can you explain, like, you know, between the sun and the rain, and then the rainbow of colors, the sun is shining through. What is it that colors do, and that type of energy, and how does that work in radionics? Okay.
Well, in real life in radionics, every mineral, vitamin, they all have a color attached, and this is why you have the full color spectrum from the rainbow it's built into this system. So you've got all the colors of the rainbow, and of course they're going into your body. Now going back to the sun is one of the things that comes up in the spring, and it's a different angle, and as it starts a growing season. And then as it get along, we get into summer solstice, and then you get flowering, and then fruiting, and then dry down. So the angles of the sun make a difference, as do the moon. The moon has a major part. The last full moon we had was what was called a flowering moon. And people that had marijuana plants suddenly put out new flowers, but because they were tricked by the moon, they didn't mature, but the main crop did. So the moon, it has a huge magnetic pull on the planet. And so from new moon, there isn't much magnetic pull, but as you get close to the full moon, all nature goes into like a feeding frenzy. The microorganisms in the soil and the water, they go to work, and they really go to work. Fish get crazy about looking for food, and it affects people's minds. Some people get crazy on a full moon, and probably go and plant garlic at night in the nude. But anyway, so these things, even stars have an energy, a real energy coming from them. So through the years, we've been able to use a special camera where we can capture these different magnetic and the light frequencies coming off the moon, the sun, the stars, and we've incorporated them all into what you are wearing today, and we'll continue to, if we come across any more upgrades, we'll just do them too. But right now, we have just about everything from the workshop in here to make things work. But as we move along, things are changing, and we have to change with them. And this is why we are bringing this technology to people so that they can be protected from some of the modern technology that's coming our way. And as we learn about it, we had to create a shield, and it was quite complicated because I looked at an eggshell, and I created that around the energy that these things have, and then I put organic material on the inside. Everything is done in frequencies, and then we put the mirrors on the outside to bounce off some of the elements that we don't want. So we're protecting you. But then I looked back again, I said, well, it's time we stimulated our immune system to start fighting back, to become stronger, so we're not burdened with coronavirus, SARS, or ammonia, or any of these other elements that can interfere with our health. And once you learn how incredible the human body is, for what it can do, then you maybe have some respect for it. This is what we have to do. We have to support our whole body, mentally and physically, spiritually at the same time. So that's about the easiest way I can put it to explain what we're doing.
Beautiful.
On that.
All right, so why don't we finish up, but let's give everybody a clear picture on what you've created. So first of all, let's talk about the Bodyguard. Now everyone, this is my Bodyguard. It's purple, but just know this, that like I showed you earlier, these are all the colors it comes in, and you can see that on our website. So Peter, will you explain about the Bodyguard first?
The Bodyguard is, it has an area that it covers of 20 feet 20 feet in each direction around your body, and 20 feet above your head, 20 feet below. And when you're in that bubble, and that's what protect you from all of the outside frequencies when you're wearing it. It doesn't matter whether you're in a shopping mall or a car, because today when you get in your car, it's so full of frequencies, and your body is not designed to be bombarded with all these frequencies. So you take it with you, and we have people that wear them in the shower or in the hot tub, even had worn them going through x-ray, and they stay perfect all the time. It's amazing how they can retain their frequency. The reason is because we're constantly feeding frequencies to them.
Yeah, so it's not like an ever-ready battery that's
No.
draining. So um, you're continually sending out the frequencies and
Yeah.
keeping all of these products charged up, right?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
So the Bodyguard is good for 20 feet from the head up,
Up
feet
and down.
down, and the body all around in a circle. Correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the protector for the home and how big a space, and maybe explain a little bit. Okay.
Well, yeah. The protector again. It's to protect your home and up to 200 feet all around it, each for each side, and 200 feet above and 200 feet below. And it's having a real benefiting effect on if you have a backyard. You just see so much more nature coming into the backyard. Your house, the plants in your house, they're happier. Your pets, everything feels this energy because energy is it's all around us, and that's what we are supposed to be as energy. So yeah,
So
it
I
has
should
quite a range.
I should see even a difference in the growth in my plants and the calmness in my children, and maybe even the peacefulness in my pets.
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Okay, so we've talked about the Bodyguard and we talked about the Protector. Okay, let's move on to the 2 pound ones. Okay, let's talk about the Guardian for your garden. Can you show
Garden.
everyone again?
Yeah, the Guardian is we're using a green color because of green grass, green trees,
Green thumb.
uh, green chlorophyll. Actually, it's interesting because green chlorophyll is green, and that's almost the equivalent to human blood. But this goes out to do 50 acres,
Yep.
and it's also in that 50 acres. It's also sequestering the carbon, all the greenhouse gases above your property, putting them in the soil as carbon to enhance the life in the soil. So your soil becomes alive. We have farmers that say they've never seen soil so fluffy and loose ever since they've been farming. And this is what it does. But it's these nutrients like nitrogen, CO2, carbon dioxide without carbon dioxide, we wouldn't have trees and plants. And nature, they take in CO2 and convert it into sugars, and it's part of their, they can send them down to the root zone for the microorganisms to feed them in the soil to keep the roots healthy. So we're creating the food in the soil, whether it's earthworms, dewworms, any other life in the soil. There's hundreds of them. There'd be enzymes and funguses and fungi. They're all in the soil, and they're all doing functions to keep the soil healthy. So this is part of it. And of course, when you start getting the soil healthier, then the food you grow is going to be healthy. It doesn't even matter if it's your lawn. If you just want a healthy lawn, you'll have a healthier lawn. And
And
you got to
also,
remember,
wouldn't
yeah,
it'll affect the wildlife in that whole 50 acres as well, right?
yeah, they move in. We're not talking about animals that are going to come and consume your crops. This is just small birds, and mostly small birds are the ones that are noticeable. But you will see other animals in the area. To be able to, again, when you start regenerating the soil, you're putting in nutrients that weeds are trying to do. So if you had dandelions, for argument's sake, they're trying to move calcium to the top, and horsetail is trying to move silica to the top. So these weeds are trying to balance the soil, but as I said, we just zap them with a chemical, and that's one way of doing it. But the best way is to provide the soil with all the help you can get so it's healthy and your environment is healthy.
And that's what the Guardian will do. And people will notice a difference over time, won't they?
They will. And the
Yeah.
other thing about it is you're increasing the oxygen and hydrogen in the air at the same time. So the air you're breathing in is going to be much purer and more nutritious because let's face it, we breathe in nutrients as well. So, yeah.
Very good. So all of these are actually increasing the oxygen from the Bodyguard up.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about the Defender, and then we'll talk about the Revitalizer.
Okay, the Defender again, we created that with the color blue because oxygen is blue. And it is designed to do large buildings, schools, hospitals, seniors' homes, meat packing plants, office buildings, anywhere where you have a lot of people. You increase the oxygen in that environment. And of course, it's going to be, I'll give you an example of, we had went to a home that had been built on a dump. And it actually started removing all the toxins from the dump, and the person didn't feel too good for about 3 days. But after they were gone, she felt like $1,000,000. So these do detoxify the whole environment, and it does. You know, if you're in an office building, again, in the atmosphere, there are all kinds of chemicals from carpets and machines that are running, like fax machines. Everything gives off an odor or some element that's not, you know, the furniture is gassing off things, chairs. So to be able to clean that environment, as they say, it's priceless.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's finish up with the Revitalizer again. We don't have the Revitalizer here, everybody, but it's a black box about this big, and it's about this tall, and then it's got 2 copper pipes that come out the bottom, and then you just bury that. And can you tell them how they bury it, how you work that, and what it's capable of?
Well, we recommend that you bury it. I did one. We've done a few lately. We put them into the flower beds on the farm where the farmer's wife grows flowers. We bury it in there. It's not big. You cover it up. And then it automatically goes to all the land that you own from up to 5,000 acres. If you only got 2,000 acres, it stops at that. None of these go off your property. They all stay on your property because there is a thing in radionics that you don't put those frequencies on some property or person that don't want them or don't, you know, you're invading their territory, so to speak. So these are all programmed just to do the areas that you're asking of it as a person. So the Revitalizer pulls in all the greenhouse gases from 5,000 feet up. And of course, you've got ammonia, nitrates, and methane, and ammonia, and hydrogen sulfide, and CO2. These are all being gassed off by animals and plants and manure and different things that have been brought back in and through electromagnetic fields. So the oxygen has an electrical charge that it takes the oxygen off the oxygen molecule to power the battery. The battery is a crystal battery. It never needs maintaining. It picks up all of its power from the current in the soil and the air. And it broadcasts these greenhouse gases into carbon in the soil, which is in the first stage of carbon, which is like a brown viscous liquid. If you work your hands through the soil, you get a brown stain on them, and that's from the carbon that the Revitalizer is putting back in the soil. And it can, depending on the area, it's about 20 tons to 30 tons of carbon per year. And this is, it's a glue that holds the soil together. It stops, if you're putting on fertilizer, because there is a transition from you can't go off modern agriculture. It's like a drug addict. You have to wean them off carefully. So you probably the first year use some fertilizer. I'd say almost a normal amount of fertilizer because And as you move along into the second year, and you can start reducing the input costs, and certainly insect sprays or pesticides would be reduced with this technology, because it puts the plasma. You know, when you have lightning, as positive come down from the cloud to the soil, and if the soil is too loaded with DC current, it goes back into the cloud again. And when that happens, it picks up the nitrogen in the atmosphere. It changes everything. The plasma changes it. So you'll see corn will literally grow a foot high overnight, where after a thunderstorm, and it's because of the available natural nitrogen it can pull from the atmosphere. So all this stuff is around us, and what we've looked at is to be able to start going back to the way nature was created, to work in harmony and build healthy crops, healthy food, and you know, there wouldn't be the need for all of the preservatives that we have in food today if you were growing food with a healthy soil. So and of course it cleans the water in the soil. It's putting oxygen in the water and down in the ground. So any water that's coming into a well or irrigation is going to be oxygenated to enhance further the crops and even the livestock. We have a farmer in South Dakota that has hogs, and he has virtually no smell anymore in the manure. And this is the beauty of, if you use the Revitalizer, it puts oxygen into the manure and it composts it. So when it's spread on the land, it is then ready for the microorganisms in the soil to accept it as plant food. If you put on raw manure, it takes about a year for those microbes to break that down. So rather than having them working to break something down, it's already ready to go onto the soil, and your whole environment just blooms with energy. And
so the Revitalizer will do that work, and it will give you pre-digested manure for the soil.
Yeah.
So then when you do spread this manure, you don't have that smell that everybody knows, especially down around Vancouver. Holy man. Anywhere where you got farming, when they spread the manure, with the Revitalizer, you don't have that smell anymore. And also,
no.
Tell them about the difference with poultry and the animals, and the milk supply, how much more milk, how healthier it is. The animals, how the death rate of the animals, whether we're talking livestock or poultry, and the quality of the eggs.
Well, there's no question the animals are healthier. We have Revitalizers in South Korea, and I got a letter back from the company, and they said the pigs went to market, let me get this right, 15 days earlier. They had 90% less mortality, and there was no smell in the manure. Now, another thing with this digested manure, if you have a dairy farm, you can you take the first cut of hay off, then you can go and spread your manure on the hay field, and it doesn't burn the crop. It doesn't burn because it's not got that raw nitrogen in it. It's already been transformed into a nitrate form. And poultry, in most cases, we have birds, laying birds for argument's sake, that they're now probably 8 or 9 months into production or more, and they're still laying 97, 98% eggs a day. They used to have 2 5-gallon pails of cracked eggs a day. Now they have a hard time to get a gallon. The manure in the barn is got an earthy smell as it comes out, so there is none of that hydrogen sulfide and ammonia gases that burn your eyes. And of course, these farmers, this farmer, he'll put tobacco stalks in the bottom of the building, and when when they keep putting the manure on it, when they go out to harvest, all those manure stalks are broken down into like a black soil. Dairy, again, your cows are much healthier because there's more nutrients in the forages and grains, and and of course the milk quality is higher. The somatic cell count, which is the dead cells in the milk, goes down dramatically, running around 100 to 90 to 120 in that range. As a dairy farmer, you don't want to go out of that range. If it goes up, your cows are not well. But you need a little bit to keep the immune system building. So you have to, it's the same as our bodies. We have to have something that it challenges our immune system to keep healthy. And so, yeah, you see the coats are shiny, their eyes are shinier, and of course then there's hardly any smell of dairy manure in the barn. And of course it is odorless when they spray it. So all animals definitely respond to this kind of higher quality food. You know, it just is more digestible, and there's less ammonia, and you know, when you take nitrogen out of the soil, or it turns into protein, but then after it goes through the animal, it can come back into nitrogen or ammonia again. So it's not gases. So these things can all be harvested and put back in the soil as a carbon base for your livestock and everything you're trying to raise on that farm, and particularly plants and vegetables. They also respond. You know, we have a much heavier bushel weight on corn, and all crops are they're more nutrient dense, and that's really all they need to know. But just certainly, when you put oxygen and elements in the soil, your fuel costs go down by 50% because the soil becomes lighter and fluffier. It allows water to drain off easier, and it helps to wick water back up in a dry time. And this is, you know, this is what we've been working with for a long, long time.
Wonderful, Peter. Thank you so much. So, everybody, I think you've got a lot to digest here. And if you've never heard about this before, then it'll take you a while maybe to digest it, because, you know, myself too, when I hear something the first time, you know, I got to digest it. You know, I got to figure it out. You know, it's new. So get your questions, write your questions down, think about the questions that you have, and put them underneath right now. Just type them up underneath the show here on Facebook, YouTube, or you can send them into Intercom, or you can send your questions in live, and we'll answer them for you tomorrow. We'll have somebody monitoring the Facebook on our Q&A. It starts at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so don't miss it. And if you do miss the Q&A show, understand something, everyone, or you missed this show, everything that I asked Peter, all the questions today and tomorrow are going to be time-stamped, and they're going to be up in YouTube. So, Peter, are you going to be ready for tomorrow for all these questions people are going to send in?
I would think so.
I would think so, too.
Been asked a lot of difficult ones, so we'll be okay.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to
No.
challenge yourself in life and challenge us tomorrow. Challenge us on your questions. You know, get the answers that you need, okay, to move forward in your life. That's what it's all about. It's all about that conscious growth thing, that bringing new ideas in to create a better reality for everybody. Peter, is there anything you'd like to say to everybody before we leave today?
Only that, you know, I ask everybody to open their minds to the possibilities that exist, and to be able to embrace those possibilities in their lives. And I think they'll be a lot better for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter, and can't wait until we see you tomorrow again, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Peter.
All righty. Yeah.
So
Bye.
I want to thank everybody for joining us. There's a couple of things I'd like to say before I go, and that is don't forget to join me for Monday Every Monday I have a Q&A at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and where you can answer your questions about nutritional, emotional. I'm open, okay? It's your show. So you can even put your questions on tomorrow's show if it's regarding the Q&A on Monday, and we'll make sure that we collect them. We always do, okay? And don't forget, everyone, guess what? COVID is being lifted. Oh, but here's a surprise, okay? I just want you to know that there was an actual book by The WHO, and they actually, if they wrote it up around September of last year, and they said the COVID was going to hit in the springtime, which it did because they're psychic. And they also said that it's going to hit in the fall time. Isn't that funny how that's the flu season? But they know these things. So understand something. But until they decide to disrupt things again for us, and I want you to know that our personal treatment and trainings are open. So you can book with us now and come to see us and get personal treatment and training in the Wolfe non-surgical. Bring your family, bring your loved one, bring your caretaker. But listen, understand, the day that you know how to create and do the most powerful body work and create the perfect day for yourself on an emotional, nutritional level will be the day that your life changes. So check out our personal treatment and training at itioh.com, or go read the personal treatment and training guide in our library. And know this, okay? We have 6 master consultants, okay? 3 men, 3 women, and they will call and they will do a consultation on you. And understand, with our consultation, you pay one time, you will have, okay, lifetime support from us for the rest of your life, okay? We will help you create the perfect day, all right? That's the problem. You know, when you go to get a consultation and you buy products, then what do? Go from hole to hole, treatment to treatment? Or would you like to get a coach? Would you like to get a coach that's going to stay with you and grow with you as you grow? And our upcoming courses, September 18th, okay, to the 25th, I will be doing a whole life coach certification in Tampa, Florida at the Omni Resort. It's a 5-star resort, okay? We've got the rates really down low so that you can stay in this 5-star resort. Come to my 8-day intense training where you can become a certified whole life coach so that you can start consulting people, or at least become the light for your family. And then on November the 14th to December the 4th, we'll be doing a combined course, and that will be in Kelowna. We'll let you know where we're going to be teaching that in Kelowna, okay? And the next one is November the 28th to the December the 18th. We're in Palm Springs, California for our certification courses, meaning our whole life coach and the Wolfe non-surgical course. This is a 21-day course, everyone. So plan to be there. Plan to take your life back. Plan, if you've always wanted to become a practitioner, here's your time. And if you want to up the game as a practitioner, check it out, okay? February 2021, okay, we're going to be in Extapa, and we're going to be doing a full combined course there. And then we're also going to be doing, what are we doing early in that year? We're doing a 33-day awakening for those people who really want to learn how to cook, how to eat healthy, how to grow your own garden, learn the Wolfe non-surgical, how to have a pain-free pregnancy, okay, how to work with yourself and your family on an emotional and nutritional level from the minute you wake up till you go to bed, okay? Check out extapapalace.com in Extapa, Mexico, and find out what the next greatest adventure is for the Doc of Detox. All right? And if you want to, send us an email at quickstart@docofdetox.com. I'll send you my 7 empowering steps. All right? And just know this, my Healthy to 100 book, you only pay the shipping. And we have the best shipping rates in Canada and the United States. We have warehouses in 3 places, Pennsylvania, California, in Texas. So that's why you get your products fast from us. You'll get the books fast from us. And like I said, when you purchase products from us, anything over $49, it's free shipping. And if you want, we'll send you up to 6 of my books free. You only pay the shipping. Let's get the word out, okay? Healthy to 100, all right? I want to thank everybody for being with me. And just know that all of our shows are time-stamped. They're up on YouTube. and you can go right to the question or right to the topic that we were talking about to make it easier for you. And just know that all of our shows are in audio too on SoundCloud and iTunes and Spotify. I want to thank you for joining me, and look it, have the best day of your life, and you're never going to have that unless you take massive personal action and know that your God-given right is to be healthy and wealthy on all levels. 3, 2, 1, you got this. Have a beautiful day. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.